Kim here. I'm working on some cards for the Operation Right Home organization. That's a piece of craft cardstock, and it's a regular A2 size card. That is the requirement. And I've got these leftover pieces from a scrapbook mini that I just did recently, and it's from the Die Cuts with a View Timeless Type Stack. And these triangles were actually on a 12 by 12 that had other embellishments on it, and I just cut those out. I'm going to use a little bit of adhesive just to hold those triangles down because I'm going to be sewing across them. Now, the person who inspired me to do this was Creations with Christina, and that's Christina. And years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago is when I started doing cards. I would watch hours and hours of YouTube videos, and I saw people sewing on cards, and I thought, you know what, I got to get a sewing machine. Well, I did just finally get one. I believe it was 2013. It was a couple of years ago. All excited, tried it out, tucked it underneath my craft desk, and forgot about it until I decided to do this card. So right there, I'm measuring the 5.5 inches, and I'm going to be putting that strip across the middle of the card. I'm using a zigzag stitch and some tan colored stitching thread, some tan colored thread. The tan showed through the triangles that were of that white or lighter colored paper, as well as the darker. And I'm going to finish up my little stitching here, and we'll put the card together. Alright, so I'm trimming off the threads there, and I'm going to trim off that piece of cardstock with the triangles on it down to 5.5 inches. And my paper trimmer, quote unquote paper trimmer, should only trim paper. It did not trim that piece of thread, which I didn't expect it to. So I went ahead and trimmed that off. And then I don't want this cream cardstock to show on my card, so I'm trimming that off as well. The actual paper pack or paper stack that I was referring to is an older one, but if you happen to see it in the store and you can use your coupon, or at least check it out because it has some really great paper in it. And then I found a couple of little spots there that needed some paper, so I covered those up. Excuse me. And now I'm just going to trim those off. And I'm about ready to put that on the card here. Before I do that, I grabbed a piece of green jute that I cut off pieces of it to use it for another project, and I wanted to use that up, and I thought it looked really well on that. It does go with that little green triangle there. And I also have a piece of black, I think it's like embroidery thread. I got it out of my Sew Easy kit, and I'm going to tie a knot. And I don't want to cover up the stitches because that kind of defeats the purpose, right? So I'm putting it up towards the top a little bit. Now I have tied bows on masculine cards before, but for this card I just prefer to have a knot. Now I'm looking for my glue dots, and I know they're there, but I just kind of didn't want to spend any more time on that. So I grabbed my little piece of score tape, and it does the same thing. And I wanted to make sure that that jute and thread was down really well. That's one of the things that the OWH likes to have the cards to be quality made, and then making sure that it's not sticky when you touch it, so that it doesn't stick in the envelope or anything like that. And I just noticed I needed to do a little bit more trimming and to do the final gluing on those triangles, because before, as you watched, I used adhesive, but all the triangles needed to be glued down. All right, good to go. Almost good to go. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to put that down right down the middle there. I decided at first I was going to use that score tape, but score tape is pretty permanent, and if I had put it down crooked, it was going to be hard for me to get it up, and I'd rip the card, and I didn't want to have to do that. I just know me. Typically, I don't put it down straight, and then I have to adjust it, or maybe it's me saying I'm a perfectionist, but I'm really not. I got to have it straight. I'm sure you all feel that way too. And there it is. Now I'm going to be using the Close to My Heart stamp set, and I bought this with the Artiste Cricut cartridge. You can go check that out on Close to My Heart website. It's pretty awesome, I have to say. And it has a bunch of stamps that are just general. It could be anything from hello to get well to some Christmas stamp sentiments. I chose the one that says thank you. That's my card.